You know it before anyone says a word. You walk into a room and the air changes. Laughter grows thinner, conversations stumble, eyes glance in your direction and quickly look away. Nobody announces it out loud, yet you feel it as if the atmosphere itself has shifted. You have not been rude. You have not acted arrogant. You have not even tried to stand out. Still, something about you unsettles the surface of things. It is not your clothes. It is not your posture. It is not even your words. What people react to is invisible. It is intensity. It is depth. It is an aura of honesty that cuts through the thin layers most people rely on to keep their worlds comfortable. For years, you have probably been told the same lines. You think too much. You are too serious. You are too intense. And maybe you wondered if they were right. If there really was something wrong with you. But what if those complaints are not criticisms at all, but confirmations? What if they reveal that you are carrying something rare? Carl Jung spent his life studying this hidden phenomenon. Most people think of an aura as a glowing light around the body, a mystical halo of color. But Jung saw it differently. He believed that every human being radiates an invisible field of psychic energy, shaped not only by conscious thoughts, but by the vast reservoir of the unconscious. This energy is not seen with the eyes, yet it is felt by everyone in its presence. According to Jung, the truest form of aura is not made of shimmering light, but of authenticity. The more you confront yourself, the fears you once from, the shadow you denied, the truths you buried, the more your energy changes. You no longer carry only the surface self, the mask that pleases others. You carry weight, gravity, presence, and people feel it instantly. They cannot always explain it, but they sense it in the way your eyes linger, in the quiet steadiness of your silence, in the way you listen more deeply than most. Jung called this phenomenon the unconscious transmission of the self. Without effort, without words, who you truly are radiates into the space around you. This is why people sometimes avoid eye contact with you. Why authority figures become defensive, even when you are polite. Why strangers pour out their secrets to you and then disappear in fear. It is not because you are broken. It is because you are carrying a rare form of energy, honesty, depth, and integration that silently unsettles those who have not yet faced themselves. Jung believed that every person has a shadow, the hidden side of the psyche filled with the parts we reject, deny, or repress. Most people spend their entire lives running from this shadow, covering it up with distractions, noise, and social masks. But when you begin to face your own shadow, when you stop hiding from your truth, your aura changes. You become a mirror. And mirrors are powerful. People do not always fear you. What they fear is what they see in themselves when they are near you. Your gaze reflects their insecurity. Your silence exposes their false confidence. Your authenticity reminds them of how much pretending they still do. And so they retreat. They gossip. They mislabel you as cold, distant, or intimidating, not because you are cruel, but because you are real. The strange paradox of such an aura is that it attracts and repels at the same time. Some people feel magnetized, pulled toward you as if you carry a light they have been searching for. Others feel threatened, as if standing near you reveals a truth they cannot bear to face. But whether it inspires or unsettles, very few people remain neutral. Your energy speaks before you do. This is why shallow conversations drain you, why you cannot stand empty personas, why your presence sometimes shifts a whole room without a single word. Because your aura does not play along with illusions. It does not feed the masks people hide behind. It demands depth even when you remain silent. You might feel alone in this. You might wonder why others keep their distance or why they misjudge you so often. But Jung would tell you, this is the cost of individuation, the process of becoming whole. When you integrate your shadow and step closer to your true self, you naturally disturb the collective comfort of those still clinging to false selves. Your energy does not let illusions breathe. Your presence silently says, I have faced myself. Have you? And for those who have not, that message is terrifying. The most difficult part of carrying this kind of energy is that the reactions you provoke are rarely fair. You are simply being yourself. Calm, honest, present, and yet people respond with defensiveness, suspicion, or withdrawal. You ask a genuine question, and suddenly someone is flustered. You give a simple opinion, and it is taken as an attack. You remain silent, and they still imagine judgment in your eyes. Carl Jung warned that this would happen. He explained that when a person has begun to integrate their unconscious, when they have faced pain, fear, and shadow, their presence becomes a mirror to others. This mirror does not flatter. It does not soften. It reflects. And that reflection is what people struggle with. When you speak honestly, others hear more than words. They hear themselves in contrast to you. They hear the parts of their lives they have been ignoring. So they accuse you of being too serious, too deep, or too intense. Not because your words are extreme, but because your presence awakens something their ego is trying to bury. This is why shallow conversations feel exhausting. You can sense the emptiness in scripted talk. The weather, the latest show, the safe jokes that protect people from being real. You can play along, but every second drains you. Something in you resists the artificiality because your aura has already learned to crave truth. And even when you do not expose the illusion, your energy disrupts it. People sense the difference, even if you say nothing. This disruption is why strangers confide in you. You have probably experienced it many times, sitting in a cafe, waiting at an airport, or meeting someone for the first time, and within minutes they are telling you their secrets. They say things like, I do not know why I am telling you this. Jung believed this happens because certain individuals unconsciously radiate the archetype of the healer. Without intention, your presence signals depth and safety. People feel seen before they have spoken a word. Yet here lies the paradox. The same people who open up to you may also vanish from your life without warning. One moment they are grateful. No one has ever understood them like you do. The next, they retreat, distant and avoidant. It leaves you questioning yourself, but it is not rejection of you. It is rejection of the parts of themselves that surfaced in your presence. You did not wound them. You revealed them, and many people are not ready for such honesty. Eye contact is another place this truth reveals itself. You hold someone's gaze and they look away, sometimes nervously, sometimes defensively. They may even accuse you of being intimidating without realizing why. Jung explained that when you have faced your own shadow, your eyes carry depth that others cannot fake. Looking into them feels less like small talk and more like confrontation. People are not just seeing you. They are seeing themselves through you, and if they are not ready for that encounter, they will retreat. Authority figures often react the strongest. When you walk into a room, the dynamic shifts. The loudest voice grows uncertain. The boss becomes defensive. People who thrive on control or dominance feel threatened, not because you challenged them, but because your presence says, silently, you cannot control me. Jung described this as the quiet sovereignty of the integrated self. When you reclaim your inner authority, you radiate it outward, and those who rely on fear or status find it deeply unsettling. This is why you sometimes become the villain in other people's stories. You walk into their lives with kindness, honesty, and no hidden agenda, yet over time they twist your presence into something threatening. Your solitude is called rejection. Your self-respect is labeled arrogance. Your silence is mistaken for judgment. It is not truth, it is projection. Jung emphasized projection as one of the greatest blind spots of human relationships. People who cannot face their own flaws unconsciously project them onto others. And because your aura carries honesty, you become the perfect target. But do not mistake this for failure. These reactions prove the depth of your energy. They reveal the silent influence of your presence. Jung said that when someone embodies authenticity, they destabilize the collective illusion. You do not need to argue or dominate. Your very existence is enough to make others second guess themselves. They stumble over their words. They justify things they would normally take for granted. They feel uncertain in places they once felt confident. You are not confusing them. You are awakening them. This awakening is rarely comfortable. For most, feels like an intrusion. But for a few, it feels like liberation. These are the ones who are drawn to you, who feel strangely safe in your presence, who say they can breathe more deeply when you are near. Jung called this numinous energy the soul's gravity. It is not charisma or charm. It is not the performance of confidence. It is the quiet radiance of someone who has faced themselves, and this radiance becomes a beacon for those who are ready to do the same. You may not realize it, but your aura is constantly at work, reshaping the energy of every space you enter. You step into a room, and instantly feel the undercurrents others ignore, the tension behind forced smiles, the resentment hiding beneath laughter, the masks people wear without even knowing. You pick up on it because your unconscious has been trained to listen. Jung called this psychological intuition, the intelligence beneath language, the perception that bypasses logic and goes directly to truth. This is why you sometimes feel overwhelmed in crowds. You are not only observing people's emotions, you are absorbing them. Your aura acts like an antenna, catching signals others do not even know they are sending. And unless you guard your own energy, you can end up carrying feelings that were never yours to begin with. Perhaps the deepest sign of this rare aura is the sense of being different, even from childhood. It is not just loneliness in the social sense, but a soul-level distance. You have always felt like you were standing slightly outside of the world, as if you were born with eyes that see layers others ignore. Friends may have liked you, family may have loved you, but still you carried the sense of being out of place, as if your soul belonged somewhere beyond the surface of things. Jung believed that certain individuals are born with a calling from the self, a deep inner voice that pulls them toward growth and transformation. These people rarely fit easily into society. They question what others accept. They sense truths others avoid. Their aura reflects a mystery that both inspires and unsettles those around them. Some people are drawn to this mystery as if it carries a spark of the sacred. Others are terrified by it, retreating without knowing why. But what almost never happens is indifference. Because whether they realize it or not, people sense when they are in the presence of someone who carries something rare. When you realize the power of your aura, the temptation is to withdraw, to avoid the misunderstandings, the projections, the weight of constantly being misread. It feels easier to stay quiet, to dim yourself, to blend into the background. And yet, deep inside, you know you were not born to shrink. You were born to embody this presence fully, even if it unsettles others. Carl Jung insisted that every gift comes with a responsibility. To carry rare energy is not simply to possess it. It is to learn how to guide it, protect it, and express it with integrity. Because left unguarded, this intensity can become overwhelming. You can drown in the emotions you absorb, burn out under the expectations others project onto you, or become bitter from constant rejection. But when you learn to channel it, your aura becomes not just a weight, but a force that inspires, heals, and awakens. The first responsibility is self-mastery. Jung taught that the strongest aura is not the one that demands attention, but the one that is anchored in inner balance. When you know yourself deeply, your strengths, your wounds, your limits, you radiate stability. This stability calms those who are ready for truth, even as it unsettles those who resist it. Without self-mastery, your presence may still be powerful, but it becomes chaotic. It reflects not clarity but conflict. This is why solitude is essential. For people like you, solitude is not loneliness. It is fuel. Time alone allows you to recharge, to separate your energy from the noise of others, to remember which emotions are yours and which are borrowed. Jung said that the individual who embraces solitude learns to converse with the unconscious. And the more you converse with your unconscious, the stronger and clearer your aura becomes. The second responsibility is discernment. Not everyone deserves your energy. Not everyone is capable of receiving what you carry. If you try to share your depth with those who are not ready, you will only invite rejection and resentment. Jung warned that the unconscious resists too much illumination too quickly. To shine your presence indiscriminately is to blind rather than guide. This is why you must learn to sense who is open and who is closed, who is ready and who is not. Discernment also means recognizing when someone is projecting onto you. Remember, you are not the villain they imagine, nor the savior they idolize. You are a mirror. Their reactions are reflections of their own soul's struggle. Do not carry the burden of their fear or the weight of their fantasies. To live with integrity, you must learn to return those projections gently but firmly, never mistaking them for truth. The third responsibility is courage, because to live authentically in a world of masks requires bravery. Every day, you will be tempted to conform, to hide your intensity, to play the role others expect. But each time you betray your own depth, your aura weakens. Your presence dulls. You become another actor in the endless play of appearances. Courage is not loud defiance. It is the quiet refusal to betray your soul. It is walking into a room, carrying your presence without apology, even when you know it will unsettle others. This courage also means embracing the destiny that comes with your aura. Jung believed that certain individuals are called to be carriers of transformation. Not for everyone, but for those who are ready. You may never fully realize how many lives your presence influences. A conversation you forgot may echo in someone's mind for years. A moment of honesty may awaken them in ways you will never witness. You may never see the results, but the impact is real. Understand this. Your aura is not for everyone. It is not meant to be. If you expect universal acceptance, you will suffer endlessly. But if you accept that your presence is a filter, that it repels the false and attracts the true, you will find peace. Those who walk away are not your loss. They are simply not aligned with the frequency you carry. Those who stay, who lean closer instead of retreating, are the ones whose souls recognize yours. The greatest danger is to mistake your difference for a flaw. Society often pressures you to soften, to dilute, to become more palatable. But Jung argued that individuation, the process of becoming truly yourself, is never comfortable. It requires breaking away from the herd, carrying the weight of misunderstanding, and embracing the isolation that comes with authenticity. Your aura is proof that you have walked this path further than most. Do not let the discomfort of others convince you to abandon it. Instead, refine it, protect it. Learn the rhythms of your own energy. When you need solitude, when you can share, when you must withdraw, when you must step forward. Learn to ground yourself so that you are not swept away by the flood of emotions you sense in others. Develop rituals, practices, and disciplines that keep your energy clear. Meditation, journaling, time in nature, deep conversations with those who understand. These are not luxuries. They are necessities for someone who carries the kind of aura you do. And above all, remember this: the very reactions that trouble you are evidence of your rare gift. People may call you intimidating, but what they truly mean is that your presence makes them aware of themselves. People may say you are too intense, but what they mean is that you refuse to live on the surface. People may distance themselves, but what they mean is that they not yet face the mirror you hold. In time, you will see the pattern clearly. The ones who resist you were never meant to walk beside you. The ones who remain are those whose souls are brave enough to meet you in depth. And in that depth you will find not crowds, but connection. Not noise, but resonance. Not quantity, but quality. Carl Jung wrote that the individual who embraces their inner truth becomes a living symbol of transformation. They carry an aura that silently communicates. It is possible to face the shadow. It is possible to integrate the unconscious. It is possible to live authentically in a world of masks. This is your task. This is your gift. So walk forward with the quiet strength that is already yours. Do not apologize for the weight you carry. Do not dilute your presence for the comfort of those who fear it. Your aura is not a curse. It is a sign of rare integration of a soul that has walked through fire and emerged whole. Let others stumble. Let others retreat. Let others misjudge. Their reactions do not define you. What defines you is the authenticity you refuse to abandon. What defines you is the truth you radiate without speaking. What defines you is the aura that unsettles the false and awakens the real. Carry it proudly, for though it may isolate you, it will also lead you to those who recognize it. And when you meet them, the resonance will be undeniable. In their presence, you will not feel too much, too deep, or too intense. You will feel understood. You will feel seen. You will feel at home. And that is the true gift of a rare aura, not universal acceptance, but the unshakable power of authenticity. And the quiet, enduring bond with those few who share your depth.